Hello everybody and welcome to another video where we're gonna take a look at the Swift 5 release notes that are coming with Xcode 10.2 Beta 2. We already did a previous video talking about Beta 1, so we're not gonna repeat the same things we already said that. In this case, we're only gonna focus on what is new for this beta. We start with the string literals that now in Swift 5 they have all this new power. You can use a different method for escaping the strings. In this example, you can see how when we are making some HTML, we need to use this backslash with the double quote one, twice, another time. We need to keep doing that basically to escape the double quote characters. But now, if instead of using the backslash to escape, we can use this here in the beginning, and now we're telling the Swift compiler that symbols that usually need to be escaped, they don't have to anymore. So we are free to use directly this here without having to escape it manually as usual. This feature is a little more complex because you can have multiple levels of escaping and it gets a little tricky, but for the simple use case, it's really powerful. The second point they did is if you declare a type that has the same name as a type in the standard library, your type now shadows the type from the standard library. That's super useful because they included result, which we're gonna take a look in a bit. And of course, a lot of people is using already a result type. So without this, all the code wouldn't compile. I'm not sure, and I think we'll need to check it because, for example, on my code base we are using Codable, but it's a library that's called Codable. So when they introduce Codable into the standard library, all our code broke. So we have to use some import tricks that you only import the specific parts that you need, and that helps the compiler figure out that we are talking about this third-party library instead of the one integrated in the standard library. Hopefully this improves the situation and we don't have to do this trick anymore. In terms of new language features, that's it, but now let's take a look at the standard library that includes, super cool, finally, the result type. This has been a huge discussion since the beginning of Swift, especially since the introduction of the error handling with throws. A lot of people has been asking for the result type to be included in the standard library, and now finally it is. This improves a lot the error handling in terms of when you cannot use throws, which is anywhere that you are using any asynchronous code. But we don't only have the result type included in the standard library, just the plain enum, but we also have this result type that includes many helpers to move from a throwing world into the result world. Swift 5 finally includes SIMD types as part of the standard library, which makes it really more Swifty. And SIMD is not something that you usually are gonna use, but for people that works with performance sensitive code, it's really nice that they finally have SIMD types with more of a Swift behavior than not having to use basically the SIMD framework or other more not low level, but like not adapted to Swift ways of doing it. There is another change on the standard library about the hashing system, especially the ones that are used for set and dictionary. They already changed some stuff in previous versions, but now they are saying that in different instances of set and dictionary, the hash is not going to be the same, which means that the order is more likely than ever it's gonna change more often now. So if you have any code that is relying on that, you will gonna have really bad luck because you will have to change all of that and make sure you never relied on that, which you should have never been. But just in case, take a look if this is gonna impact you. And here we have another change about hashing. In this case, is to be more correct when interoperating with NS objects with Objective-C. So this change makes the hash value property on an NS object no longer overridable, and instead you need to override the hash property, which makes under the hood the changes that are properly done. And this uses anyway the new systems that were introduced in previous Swift versions, so everything should work alright and you should already be using this. And that's all the changes on the standard library, and I think there is one last change on this beta version, which is that in Swift 5 mode, the type of self in a convenience initializer of a non-final class, like this is already complex enough, but the dynamic self type, it equals to the dynamic self type and not the concrete class type itself. This is one of these things that it makes Swift complex, which is the whole initializer system, and this tries to help to make it more what you expect it to be, and it's actually like kind of a bug fix on this aspect. But it shouldn't have a major impact unless you don't do weird things with initializers and convenience initializers. And that's it for today. These are the updates, small number of updates, but really important ones that come with Xcode 10.2 Beta 2 in terms of the Swift 5 language. So thank you all for watching and see you next time.